Nandkumar Athawale is the Distinguished Vice President of Design and Engineering Center at Larsen Toubro Limited. He has pursued his M.Tech from IIT Madras. His impeccable dexterity led the efforts in development of C&S band tracking radars for ISRO Sriharikota, which tracks all the satellite launches. His proficiencies lie in design and engineering, business development, new product development, manufacturing development, etc. For the first 17 years, he has worked with L&T as design and product engineer for process plant equipment. He has set an example for successful consortium with DRDO and PSU for development and thereafter productionized 3D surveillance radars for Indian forces. Currently, he is leading Design and Engineering Center for Defense and Aerospace for L&T Defense Vision. Nandkumar Athawale is a prominent figure in the engineering industry. We are honored to have Nandkumar Athawale as a guest at the Persona Fest 2019.
Sir, स्वागत आणि शुभ संध्याकाळ.
Thank you.
So your journey from IIT Madras to L&T, and that too in very specialized the defense. So we'd like to hear from you for all our audiences how that the defense technologies and the role of you and what L&T stands for.
Before I do that, when I came into this auditorium, I heard something about authentic leadership. Some speaker was talking about authentic leadership. I was not very clear. He was saying that authentic leadership exists or it doesn't exist. And I can tell you that it exists, and it exists very much here. And nobody should have doubt in this campus that authentic leadership exists. It is in the Dr. Vishwanath Karad, who has given the authentic leadership as the best example to have this. I think this is one thing one should never have doubt, that authentic leadership exists. It manifests into various ways in various fields, and one of this island is epitome of this. I mean, pranam to him. I could get a privilege to spend about 10-15 minutes with him, and it's very nice, wonderful.
Great. Sir, can you brief us about the Larsen and Toubro and L&T Defense per se? What exactly you people are doing?
In defense, normal rule is do more and talk less. That's the first rule in defense. But nevertheless, whatever I can communicate, I will do it. Larsen Toubro has been in defense for more than 30 years. It is not that we are today in defense or we have started recently. In 35 years back, in first 87, 88, we got a small order in defense from DRDO. And that's how this journey began. At that time, defense was not a glamorous business. It was not known. We are not allowed to talk about the defense business. As every business, small group is doing it. In fact, it started with only a few people as a part of the R&D project. Thereafter, I think India's guided missile development program was launched by Kalam, and he started variety of missile programs, call it a Nag missile, the Trishul, the Agni, the Prithvi, the Akash, Dhanush, various missile programs they have started. And at that time, probably the DRDO was looking at some authentic company to work with them on which you can trust. And there where actually the journey began. And probably over the period of next 10-15 years, probably their trust was justified. Maybe L&T also has believed in them, and that's how the journey began. I can tell you that till 2002, 2003, 2004, we were very small. Because as you know, the DRDO programs take decades to complete the program, get into the trial, and by the time you present it to user, he is looking at outside, he is looking at somewhere else. To build a confidence in user that Indian system can provide an equitable solution to them was a tough task for DRDO, for Larsen and Toubro, to anybody. Because they have seen something else abroad. I can tell you that to sell Indian system to users is extremely tough. And that credibility probably through DRDO over the period of time has developed. And we have been the part of this journey for last about 30 years. Today, everybody is saying L&T is defense. Today, maybe in defense, From almost less than 10 crore maybe in 2001, 2002, we are reaching to 4,000 crores. So it's possible. But then you have to have technical competence. You should be able to build credibility with the customer. And one more thing which we never did is we never had a foreign collaboration. We never took that route. Throughout the DRDO thing, we said that we will have our in-house technology, our in-house development. So throughout these 30 years, we never had any foreign collaboration for anything. We never said that. We said, hey, we have good, talented engineers. We will struggle. We will develop. We will field our equipment. Let it go through user trials. Let it get successful. And then user will accept. But I must tell you, one example in the Pinaka system, which Pinaka multi-barrel rocket launcher we developed, we first fielded in '93. We got a first small production order in 2003. And real business we are getting from 2016-17 onwards. So if you have the patience, the management should show patience, I think then there is success. But if it is success, nothing like success, it's success. So that's a story for defense, for L&T to you. It's a very brief story. And now we are in the multiple segments in defense. We are in weapon system, we are in radars, we are in communication system, we are in submarine construction, even we are in military communication. You name it, I think most of the fields we are. We want to be in more fields, provided the environment, the ecosystem permits us to do. But almost, I mean, it's just that we want to be in there.
My next question, it's a journey of more than 35 years, right, in L&T itself. So we are discussing merit may not commit the best, but loyalty ensures the best. So your stint of 35 years unbeaten in L&T. So what keeps you motivating in this era of hopping? I am sure you must be getting various offers from the different domains.
I think spending long time in L&T is very routine within L&T. If you look at so many people in L&T who have spent 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, 50 years is very common. Currently, our chairman has crossed 50 years in L&T. My current boss who has completed 41 years in L&T. I have so many colleagues who have completed 30, 35 years. Our current CEO has completed about 35, 36 years, if I am not wrong, maybe more in L&T. So in L&T, completing long innings, outside L&T it is abnormal, but within L&T it is very normal. Now, this question is very common to us, that what makes you continue to be in L&T? What we answer from within us is, if you continue to feel that you have joined just recently in L&T, this 35 years, sometimes you look back and say, oh, 35 years are complete. But while in the mind you feel that you have just joined yesterday, I think that carries. That also means that the time has passed. You haven't had time to look at what you have done. And probably the achievements is a side effect. Achievements do happen. They're just part of the journey. One doesn't have to wait for the achievement and do celebrate and say that it's just a process. And why people still tell L&T, there is no one answer, but I may attempt one or two. I'm not sure the meritocracy and loyalty are two different things. L&T organization has been completely built on meritocracy. If you ask, L&T has no promoters. L&T is a professionally managed organization. If you see all L&T top management, it has risen through the ranks. And over the period, they have proved their merit and reached at the top. So meritocracy is the primary reason why people stick to. Because at heart, you must know that you are up to the mark to reach there or no. And everybody puts their hand on heart, they will know that where they stand. One doesn't have to ask anybody. And if you ask, you will always get an honest answer that I am up to what, how much I can reach. And by and large, people judge very well. And on the working level, we have freedom to work, freedom to make mistakes. And you will not be fired for mistake, only we say that please don't repeat it, So freedom to take decisions. This is one thing which L&T provides you enormously. You take a decision, and we don't believe that 100% decisions are right. We are not gods. We are people. But sometimes something goes wrong also. So we don't penalize people for making wrong decision or some making mistake. As long as the intentions is right, technical merit has been done, and due diligence has been done, it's okay. Things go wrong, so probably people continue. And the last but not the least, the salary, L&T is never a best paymaster, as I know. from the beginning means when I joined, and I don't know, today also people feel that L&T is paying best. But every time when you look back, if you feel that you have achieved something, if you achieved something which can help you, which you have learned, and you have contributed maybe in nation building, I think your heart tells you to continue. And if your heart says so, continue.
Wow. This is the true leadership development environment the L&T is providing to commit the mistakes for the betterment, for the better innovation. You are very true, sir. I would like to ask the next question. I was going through your CV and I'd like to request you to share something about your toughest challenges across your professional journey.
I think challenge is a part of the life. If there is no challenge, there is no point in continuing. But nevertheless, one challenge I distinctly remember, which was a little tougher in the sense, but I liked it. 17 years I worked in a typical field of design engineering of a vessel equipment, pressure vessel, heat exchangers, and some mechanical design. I did, and then L&T has got a typical process of identifying the leader and talent. One has to go through assessment, which is very structured, which is not done by L&T people, it is done by outsiders. Normally, people are looked through the prism of their bosses. But this leadership program, somebody else sees you from some other prism, some matrix, and there is a competency matrix which is developed for each person and is provided to you very transparently. So when you are identified as a future leader, then you have to show the leadership. You have to show the potential. And potential and performance, there can be a gap. So normally, those who have been identified normally are thrown in the area of discomfort. At least they are moved from the area of their comfort, which you developed over the 10, 15 years of working. So suddenly I was one day asked that, why don't you develop a business in radars? Now I am a mechanical engineer by qualification. I had spent 15 years in mechanical engineering. I didn't know what the radar means. It's an electronics business. So I was wondering what to do now, you know. But suddenly the assignment came. I said, yes, if management feels that I can do it, why not? I mean, that's as simple. So this is one of the biggest challenge. And we have in L&T what we call as a GET mindset. GET stands for Graduate Engineer Trainee. So what the GET mindset is, you keep learning. Some of the speakers previously said that the learning attitude is something extremely primary to you and it is lifelong. You can't disconnect from itself any time in the life. That moment you do it, I think you will stop growing. So I started saying that, okay, let me see, whether, can I have a book to read this? Can I read some of the books? What is finally, I said, what is electronics engineering finally? Studying some papers, studying some books, appearing some exams, and 2-3 years of work. Can I not do it? So I went through various books. What was about electronics? What is electronics? What is radars? What are the systems of radars? And when you sit with customer, there is no way you can say that I don't know. It is just not possible in L&T. You have to know, you have to be studied and approach customer. One more thing one needs to look at it, this is a technical part of the competence, but there is also behavioral part of the competence. When we have to shift from design, engineering, project management, and execution, and then shift to business development, you need to change your behavior. And that behavior, for that, you have to first tune your mind that now my role is different. I need to wear a different hat, and I have to behave like that. Dr. Goldratt, if you know, he used to say that you tell me the performance parameter, I will suit my behavior to performance parameter given to you. Now here performance parameters have been changed. If you continue to behave the way you are behaving, I think that's a disaster in waiting. So this is two things which you must do, saying that whenever the role changes, you must change yourself. And those who fail to change, they will have difficulty in trying. So this is one of the biggest challenges I feel, I think, I had.
You worked with APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab also. You got a chance to.
Very rarely.
Very little. So I was going through your CV again and C&S band tracking radars with ISRO and then Sriharikota Satellite Launching Center. So we'd like to hear that live experience for all of our students.
We were in the business development of radars. We didn't have any track record. neither we can go and tell customer that we know radars. And you should never oversell to the customer. It is very risky proposition that if you try to oversell to the customer, and then you are not treating customer as customer. He is very intelligent and he sees through. So this is one mistake you should never do. But one advantage I had at that time was L&T has got an excellent track record with ISRO, almost 40 years. We had excellent similar track record with Nuclear Power Corporation. We had excellent track record with DRDO. So L&T has some footing. So, and ISRO has been entrusting the jobs which are probably not possible for others to make, they used to entrust with L&T. So they came to know that we have formed some radar business development cell, and they said they want to build some tracking radar. Nobody was ready to build. This one promise we have with DRDO and ISRO, that if you think that somebody else is not ready to make, we will always make. This is a promise from L&T. Whether at that time it makes business sense or no, but if they need to make and somebody else is not ready to make, Larsen Toubro will always come forward. So they came to us and said that we want to build this radar. My simple proposition was, sir, first of all, I don't know how to build the radar, but we intend to build the radar. And if you think we can build the radar, we'll do it for you. We'll build a team for you. But I must tell you that you must do some hand-holding for us. You will not be found wanting on the efforts what we'll put in. So commitment is complete, but you also need to take us on board. And that's one of the best examples where customer and sort of partner, they had a faith in us. The radars are working for us almost now 2008 we launched. Last 10 years, these radars are tracking all satellite launch and they are performing way beyond what the specification is. So successes can be built. Trust from customer and commitment from us. I think there is no limitation.
Sir, one last question. I said leadership opportunities are presented to everyone. What makes the difference between being a leader and not is how you respond in a moment. And that moment is very, very important in the storytelling on this.
As somebody has said previously, leadership is not a myth. It is just a process. It is inbuilt in you. You don't have to say that I am leader or I am executive leader. You can't be an artificial in being leader. It has to come naturally to you. Every organization has got a different yard scale for leadership. Some are technology driven, some are business driven. What leadership in retail will not suit in L&T, what suits in L&T may not suit outside. So there's no single definition of leadership. What L&T within we have is, we say that potential is seen. And probably the potential seen is the way you make decisions. The single most competency about leadership is decision making. If you can do that and you continue to display that, you will be seen by others. Because leaders are chosen. You can say that I am leader, but somebody has to accept you as a leader. In corporate world, it is extremely difficult that others respect you as a leader. And that happens in your behavior. If you continue to do decision making, which is seen, then once you have decision making initiatives, purpose, dedication, hard work, everything comes by because your decision making is not empty. It is based on something. And that's something which is seen. So leadership is seen. I mean, you don't have to look for it. It's just seen. L&T, there are a lot of examples. Outside, there are a lot of examples. So it's very evident. I don't think it's a great science or mystery in any way.
Maybe one piece of advice to all our students about the careers in the defense and whatever you would like to give them a piece of advice.
This is a little difficult question because lot of connect or disconnect has happened over the period of time. What we had a choices when we came out of the college and what scenario this new generation has is quite different. They are quite versatile, but also as I find, more the options, there could be more confusion also. And probably I have seen the people who join. When we joined L&T, we said that by L&T we'll make our career, we'll do our job and we'll do a good job. I find when people join, they always look at others, they look at outside. And probably they have to reflect whether it manifests into their work. I'm not sure, you keep looking outside and keep working here, probably it manifests into their performance or work. I think wherever you are, work with full commitment, work with full knowledge, work with full depth. Doesn't matter, future could be different. Not that everybody is stuck to L&T. People have left L&T also and done well. People have stayed in L&T and done well. And there are a lot of avenues. But don't, take your current job, current assignment lightly. Just jump into it, do it dedicatedly, bag your experience, then you are built for future. I think if you keep that attitude, I think you will always succeed.
Very rightly said, and even our founder president, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, he always used to quote that every MITian should follow the 4 Ds. Said, what are those 4 Ds? It's a decorum, decency, dignity, and discipline. If you follow these 4 Ds, you will be a winning personality. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.